All right, so we have seemingly reached a tipping point or a true divide within the human performance strength and conditioning industry, where we are seeing people kind of gravitating towards either being, strength, weight-based centric, or, we can even classify this just being more old school or conventional versus being more movement focused and seeing the body more as like a composite of multiple systems and, really trying to think beyond just the musculoskeletal or orthopedic aspects of what we do. And I'm definitely not trying to convince anybody one way or the other on this, because this is one of those conversations where when somebody feels the way that they do, it's virtually impossible to get them to change their stance on it. But as somebody who has kind of, consistently been in the middle on this and utilizing both sides of the fence here, I think that there's a couple of important points to mention here. And the first one is that if you are exclusively either one or the other, no matter which side of the fence it's on, I think you're wrong. If you think that there is only one way to do something when we're talking about preparing and restoring athletes for sport, and even to take that to general populations, I think that you are shortchanging yourself and you're doing a disservice to your athletes. There is a very heavy dependence on the context of the situation for making a claim as to whether or not strength training is better versus more movement emphasis is better. I think ultimately what we need to do is we need to understand that there is a lot going on with the human body and there's a lot involved with performance. So there's obvious points and cases. For me, it's that primary block. I'm going to utilize my squats, my deadlifts, my cleans, my snatches, my jerks, etc. for virtually anybody that I'm working with. But then beyond that, that's where I want to kind of break away from mostly weight-centric compound bilateral loading. For me, I'm not trying to make people the best at lifting weights. I'm trying to make people the best at what they do. I'm trying to do that in a sense to where they are healthy and they are able to maintain or sustain the work that we're doing on their own without having to go through this rigorous grind of just overload, overload, overload. So this is why I now really try to pursue and emphasize improving the athlete's ability to tolerate variability as opposed to just putting more on the bar. For me, if we get stronger and stronger and stronger and we're more powerful in very specific planes or actions, then we are inevitably creating greater margins of deficit between those structures or tissues that are being worked versus the ones that aren't. And the bigger that margin of difference is, the better the opportunity is for them to sustain an injury. So to kind of summarize and close this thing out, I think whether you're a strength and conditioning coach, human performance coach, practitioner, PT, ATC, whatever it is, we really just need to continue to align ourselves with solutions-based applications, or as the classic saying goes, methods change, principles don't. So as long as we are staying true to the principles of outcome, that should remove this reductionist feel of it has to be done this way or it has to be done that way. And we can be a little bit more perceptive to some of the versatility or the utility of these different applications, and then learn and create a bigger bank for ourselves, or a bigger toolbox, so to speak, so that we have more to sift through to solve these problems. Because ultimately that's what we're doing. We are just providing solutions for complex problems and helping people to get better at what they do.